share and invite as you're coming in. You can actually call this your pre-New Year's Eve night word. For those of you who are readying yourselves and preparing yourselves for watch night service, you can call this your pre-New Year's Eve night word. Share and invite. Lady Maria, blessings to you. Blessings to you. Praise the Lord, everybody. Go ahead and share and invite. Just something I want to drop in your spirits very quickly. Hey there, Elder Ware. Blessings to you. Good to see you. Long time no see. Extremely long time no see. Blessings to you. Good to see you. I appreciate those of you who are jumping on and inviting all of your followers. I appreciate that. And I miss you. I miss you. We've got to get together. We've got to get together very soon. And we will. And we will. And we will. We have to get together. But just a quick word I want to drop in your spirits. I promise not to keep you very long. If you can invite your friends and invite your followers. This is a scope where you can even invite your enemies. God has a word for your enemies tonight. Praise the Lord, everybody. Hey, Minister Breeden, good to see you. Good to see you. Blessings to you, Pastor Sims. Blessings to you. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Blessings to you. Hey, Tracy, there's my biological sister. Blessings to you. Love you, love you, love you. Good to see you as well. Is that Dr. Abernathy out there? Blessings to you. Good to see you. Go ahead and invite your friends and invite your followers. Once again, you can call this your pre-New Year's Eve night word. This is actually a prophetic revelation that I want to share with you. And I can promise you one thing, you won't hear it like this in New Year's Eve watch night service. Praise the Lord. This is literally hot off the press. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right in relation to what it is God has shared, of course, with me in private that I want to minister to you and impart and download into your spirits publicly. I thank God for all of my committed and consistent followers. I appreciate you being here. And for those of you in whom are here for the very first time, I do thank God for you as well. Do celebrate you, of course, and appreciate you. But this is a prophetic revelation, something that God revealed to me earlier. I was in the gym at this particular point in time that God began to minister to me. And God began to speak to me. This was, of course, earlier today, probably somewhere around maybe 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I was in the gym, and I was working out. And upon working out, I began to look out of the window. Upon working out, I began to look out of the window, and my attention was divinely drawn to something that I had always physically seen, but never really paid attention to. I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where God divinely draws your attention to something that physically you have always seen, but yet never gave any thought to. Has anybody out there ever had that experience where God divinely draws your attention to spiritually, draws your attention to something physically that you have always seen, but yet you never paid attention to, but yet off the cuff, God divinely draws your attention to it. And when I use the word divinely, or use the phrase divinely draws your attention to it, what I mean by that is that he gives you revelation divine revelation, supernatural revelation, spiritual revelation, out of something in the spiritual that you have always paid attention to, or you've always seen naturally, but yet you've never really gave much thought to. You've never really given much thought to. Dr. G, blessings to you. Good to see you. Well, I was working out. And I just happened to have looked out of the window as I was working out, and upon doing so, I noticed the fog. I am here, of course, in the ATL, and don't know where you're chiming in from, but the fog is very, very, very heavy here. In some areas, it just happens to be very, very, very foggy. My attention was, for the most part, drawn to the fog, something that I have always seen in the natural, but yet didn't really give much thought to, if for that fact I gave any thought at all. But as I was working out today, my attention was divinely drawn to the fog. And when I thought about fog, when I saw the fog, and when I began to think about what fog was, God gave me a divine revelation out of that situation that I had never heard before. When I began to think about what fog was, fog, for the most part, is essentially a cloud at ground level. That's what fog is. If you've never known what fog was, for the most part, technically speaking, the fog is nothing more than a cloud, or for the most part, clouds at ground level. I want you to think about that for one moment. Clouds, the fog. Fog is nothing more than clouds at ground level. And out of that entire situation, God gave me such a divine revelation that literally blew my mind. Once again, fog is nothing more than clouds at ground level. Fog is essentially something, watch this now, that's higher than you, but yet at the same time comes down to you. Fog is something that's higher than you. Watch this now. Watch this. I mean, God ministered to me. God ministered to me, Elder Ware. God ministered to me, Dr. G, and blew my mind. Fog is essentially something that's higher than you, that comes down to you. Fog is greater than you, but it comes down to you. It's untouchable to you, but it comes down to you. It's unrealizable for you, but it comes down to you. It's inapproachable to you, but yet it comes down to you. Fog, because once again, fog is nothing more than a cloud. It is nothing more than a cloud at ground level. Fog is inapproachable to you, but yet it comes down to you. Fog, for the most part, is out of the way for you, but yet it comes down to you. Fog is beyond you, but yet it comes down to you. For the most part, fog is far away from you, but it comes down to you. Clouds, I should say, are far away from you, but it comes down to you. It's out of the way for you, but it comes down for you. Clouds are inapproachable to you, but it comes down to you. Clouds or fog is nothing more than a cloud at ground level. It's far away from you, but yet it comes down to you. But when it comes down, watch this now, when it comes down to you, when it gets close to where you are, it causes a reduction in visibility. Watch this now. I mean, God spoke to me out of this situation, and it literally blew my mind. When it comes down to you, once again, when it comes down to you, it causes a reduction in visibility. It reduces and it distorts your capability to see clearly. That's what clouds do. The cloud that comes down turns into what we define as fog. It causes a reduction in visibility, and it reduces and it distorts your capability to see clearly. And technically speaking, when you really think about it, anything that's distorted is inaccurate. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. Anything that is distorted is inaccurate. Anything that's distorted is incorrect, meaning you can't really rely on it. Here is how you discern that you are closer now than what you have ever been before. Because the closer you get, the more your visibility becomes distorted. You got to get this. The closer you get to what God has for you, the closer you get to what God has promised you, the closer you get to what God has purposed for you, the more your visibility becomes distorted. The closer you get, watch this now, the further away it seems. I'm going to say that again. The closer you get, the further away it seems. The closer you get, the further away it seems. God told me to tell you that the greater thing, the untouchable thing, the unreachable thing, the unrealizable thing, the inapproachable thing, the out of the way thing, the beyond thing, the far away thing is closer today than it has ever been before. And the only reason why you can't see it is because your vision has been distorted, watch this now, by its closeness. Clouds are higher than what we are. Clouds are greater than what we are. They're higher. They're greater. They're unreachable. They're unrealizable. Somebody's dealing with something that's greater than you, that's untouchable, that's higher than you, that's unrealizable, that's unreachable. Somebody's dealing with a vision, a desire, a dream that's out of the way for you, that's beyond you, looks like it's so far away from you, but yet what seems so out of the way, so beyond you, so far away from you, is so close that you can't even see it. Sometimes you got to get this revelation. What God has for you is so close to you that you can't even see it, because oftentimes your vision becomes distorted by its closeness. God gave me a revelation concerning clouds today that literally blew my mind. gave me a revelation concerning fog today that literally blew my mind. And once again, yeah, that is deep. That Minister Breeden, that is deep. And please hear me. I'm not even trying to be deep. I'm not trying to be deep. I'm not trying to be deep. But God has a way of bringing you into some deep stuff. He brought my attention to the fog. He brought my attention to the fog, which once again is essentially a cloud at ground level. Clouds are high in the sky. Clouds are unreachable. Clouds are unobtainable. Clouds are far away. Clouds are beyond, they are beyond you and I. Listen, you couldn't touch a cloud if you wanted to. Standing from the ground. Are y'all listening to me? Standing from your physical position, you could not touch a cloud if you desire to. But yet something that is so beyond you, so far away from you, has the ability and the capacity to come to you. The Lord told me to tell you that what was so beyond you and what was so far away from you is now right here with you, but you can't see it because your vision has been distorted. This is a word. This is a word. This is a word, Dr. G, for somebody who's on the verge of giving up. This is a word for somebody who's on the verge of waving the white flag of surrender. This is a word for somebody who's on the verge of quitting. This is a word for somebody who's on the verge of lying down. This is a word for somebody who's on the verge of dying, saying to themselves, it will never happen for me. I am so far away from what God has for me. The Lord told me to tell you that your vision has become distorted because of the nearness of what He's purposed for you. Your vision has come distorted because of the closeness of what God has purposed for you. I submit to you that sometimes something can be so close until you can't see it. Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't give out. Don't lay down. Don't die. Don't quit. Don't wave the white flag of surrender. You are right where you need to be. Are y'all listening? I said you're right where you need to be. What God has for you is so close. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. And if you give up now, you're going to miss it. Don't give up. It's right there. It's right there. You're right there. Lydia, you're right there. Serenity, you're right there. Tracy, you're right there. Elder Ware, you're right there. Dr. G, you're right there. Pastor Sims, you're right there. 2015 Restored, you're right there. Lady Maria, you're right there. Minister Purvis, you're right there. Minister Riggins, you're right there. You're right there. You are closer today than what you have ever been any day. Don't give up on what God has promised you. Don't give up on what God has purposed for you. Don't give up on what God has planned for you. It's right where you are. Blessings to everybody. Hope I said something that ministered to you. I'm out of here. That's it. Blessings to you and Happy New Year. Love you now.